So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a review of the IL MAKIAGE Woke Up This Way foundation. So I've been seeing this foundation all over social media, as I know you guys have. So what's really cool about this foundation is that you go online and you take their quiz. It asks you questions like what type of skin do you have, whether it's oily, dry, or combo. Do you have red undertone? Do you have mature skin or younger skin? And what type of buildable foundation are you looking for? Whether you want light to medium, medium to full, or a full foundation, then the company mails you out supposedly the perfect shade for you. So their website says that this is a streak-free foundation. It's supposed to smooth and even out the skin. It's going to enhance the complexion. You're going to get flawless, uniform matte finish. It's supposed to minimize the appearance of shadows and pores. It's supposed to blur fine lines, redness, and blemishes. I'm really curious about the redness because I've got rosacea on my cheek and I just have a natural red undertone to my skin. While light diffusing spheres deflect attention from all imperfections. That's a pretty big claim, actually. For best results, it says to pair with a primer or a setting spray. It comes in 50 shades. This is 1 fluid ounce and it retails for $45. So this is a frosted glass bottle and it comes with a pump, which I love. So I did take their quiz and they sent me shade 035. I'm just going to put a little on the back of my hand. It's really not a runny consistency. It's my shade 035. It does have a little bit of a fragrance. It's not so bad. It kind of just smells like foundation in general. So I'm going to do half my face with my Sephora foundation brush. But I also have a damp beauty blender and I use that to apply the foundation to this side of my face. I'm going to use the Opal primer from Beauty Blender. So I'm just going to apply a light layer of the primer to my skin. I love this primer because it's very light and has a silicone base, which means it helps to stop foundation from settling into fine lines and wrinkles. So I'm going to take 1 pump of the foundation. This side I'm going to apply it with my brush. I'm only going to do half my face so we can see the before and after. It actually goes on quite smoothly. Not a lot of effort. I am stippling it though into my skin because I want it to be pushed into my pores. It's going to make it look more flawless. It's definitely diminished that red that I have on my cheek because the side, you can definitely see on my rosacea there, around my nose and on my cheek area. I'm going to take another pump. This time I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm going to apply it to this side of my face. I purchased the medium buildable color. I did not go to the full coverage. I'm not a big fan of full coverage foundations because I do have fine lines and wrinkles and I just think it makes it look worse as opposed to better. So I did 1 level down from the full coverage. You can obviously thin it out if you want to use a damp beauty blender, or if you want more coverage, I would suggest using a foundation brush. The side I use the beauty blender on, we see more of the rosacea that I have in my cheek area. Still pretty. You have a little bit of luminosity to it, which I do like. So I would definitely use a brush because for me, that's just better coverage. I do feel like it's a little light for me, but again, it might get darker over time. I'm going to take a little bit more. I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm just going to go over this side just so I can even it out a little bit. I do like the coverage so far. It's covering up my red. It hasn't bunched or anything into my fine lines and wrinkles. It looks pretty nice actually. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup off camera and then I'll come back. I am going to take some setting powder. This is from Fenty. And I'm going to set the foundation where I always would. So I'm going to cut under my cheek. I always do my chin area. Now I do have drier skin, so I don't apply too much powder. And I'm going to put a little bit here on my forehead. So I'm going to let the powder sit and bake on my skin for at least 5 to 10 minutes because this is how I would wear it when I go out. So it's been about 10 minutes since I put the powder on. Using a clean brush, I'm just going to brush off the excess. So this is what my makeup looks like now that I'm all done. The foundation has adapted to my natural skin tone, which is actually a pretty good challenge for me because I have red undertone. My face is actually darker than my neck. For me to find a foundation that actually matches the two is quite impressive. Normally I have to put some fake tanner on my neck or I use a lot of bronzer to darken up my neck in order to match my face. I feel like my skin does look skin-like it says woke up this way. I don't feel like it looks like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. Now I did put a lot of eye makeup on today because I'm going out, so I kind of wanted a little bit more of a look. I feel like my skin does look really pretty. Now I have a little creasing here, but I've got this nasty little wrinkle that's always there. And I have to admit, makeup will always settle in there, so I'm not judging the foundation on that. I did apply both of my contour sticks. I didn't notice any lifting or that it pulled any of the foundation off. I did apply bronzer to my cheek and my forehead area. Again, I didn't notice any product lifting or that the foundation was coming off of my skin. I used my nude stick, just put some on the top of my cheek, and I rubbed it in with my finger. No product came off, so actually it is staying really well on my skin. And even where I powdered, it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look dry. It just has a nice blurred effect on my skin. So it's 1:30 now. I'm gonna go out, I have some errands, and then I'm gonna meet some friends later on. We're gonna go out for dinner. So I'm gonna try to wear it for at least 8 to 10 hours so you guys can see what a real wear test would look like. I am gonna take some video while I'm out in natural light so you guys can see what it looks like. So I'm out and about doing my errands, and I've probably had the makeup on for about 3 hours or so. Just wanted to show you my foundation. It's actually holding up really well. I'm a little sweaty because it's really warm out right now and my top's down in my car, but I really do like how it looks, considering I only powdered down at the bottom and a little in the T-zone. But yeah, I think it looks really good. So my next check-in with you guys is going to be tonight when I get back, and we'll see what it looks like by the end of the day. It's now 11:43, so I've had the foundation on for just over 10 hours or so. This is what it looks like. I really like it. It looks really good. Like, my skin looks really good. And it's been over 10 hours. I didn't use a setting spray, but I did use a primer before I applied my foundation. And I feel like it looks the same as when I left the house today. So the product claimed to be a streak-free foundation. Check. There isn't any streaking. It just looks fantastic. So it did claim it was going to even out the skin tone. Check. My entire face looks one shade as opposed to having red cheeks and a white nose and having all this imperfections on my forehead. I am all the same shade. Love that. It also claimed to minimize the appearance of shadows and pores. Absolutely. My pore area here looks much more reduced. It claimed it was going to help to blur my fine lines and wrinkles. I absolutely think that is true. I mean, you can see my little tiny wrinkle that I have here, but I'll be honest, most foundation does settle in my little fine line there. It hasn't settled in my marionette lines, and it said it was going to enhance the complexion, which I really think that it's done. It looks like my natural shade, because as you can see, it's the same shade as my neck, which never happens because my face always has that red undertone. I'm quite impressed that it covered up my rosacea because that's my biggest beef or concern with foundations. I want something that's going to cover up that red but isn't going to make me look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. And I think that's what most people want. For an everyday foundation or an everyday base, you want something that's going to hide those imperfections, smooth out the skin, fix some uneven skin tone, but you don't want it to look like you're wearing this full face of makeup. And I don't feel like I do. I just feel like my skin looks amazing. And I think if you saw me on the street, you'd have no idea that I have rosacea on my cheeks and that I have some imperfections on my forehead and that my skin tone isn't even and that I have more mature, drier skin. I just think my skin looks really nice. I really think it's a cool idea that this is a foundation that I couldn't swatch, that I couldn't make a suggestion on the color that I wanted. All I did was go online, answer some questions, and they mailed me the perfect foundation. They sent me shade 035. I feel like it matches perfectly. It has evened everything out of my skin tone. And I have to say the foundation wears really well. And even the rest of my makeup has stayed on. You can see that my bronzer and blush still look really good on my cheek area. You can see the bronzer that I put on the perimeter of my face. So when I first applied the foundation, it did appear to be too light for me. But after about 10 minutes or so, I noticed the shade started to change and it all started to even out my skin tone. So it's supposed to be a uniform matte finish, and matte sometimes for me I think maybe looks dry, but I don't think so in this case. I still have a little bit of a luminosity in my cheek area, and keep in mind I had my top down today in my car and I probably spent a couple hours out there. I was expecting it to be more sweaty because I haven't touched up my makeup at all. I didn't reapply any powder. This is how I left the house today. This is how I've come home. My foundation looks amazing. I will say I was pretty skeptical that you go online, you answer a few questions, and they're going to send you your perfect shade of foundation. I've spent years looking for my perfect shade of foundation, and it's never really happened. So I'm actually really glad that I tried the IL MAKIAGE Woke Up This Way foundation. This may just be my new favorite foundation. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.